See How They Run is directed by Tom George and stars Sam Rockwell, Saoirse Ronan. I'm sorry if I can't pronounce her name. Adrian Brody, and among others. And in this story, it is set in the 1950s, where, well, if you've seen from the previews, there's basically a murder that happens that calls the attention for an inspector played by Sam Rockwell and his constable played by Saoirse Ronan as they're on the case. And it becomes pretty much kind of a meta sort of thing where they're basically trying to uncover this murder that happens at this play that's for the Mousetrap that was created by Agatha Christie. And as the movie goes along, it plays along to where the constable played by Ronan, who's trying to essentially bond with the inspector played by Sam Rockwell, and it gets into kind of its twists and turns along the way. Now, here's a little backstory. Now, this is a film that, honestly, I didn't see really any marketing behind it until the last few weeks ago. I saw a trailer for it coming up, and it was like right before it was going to come up, release after a couple weeks. And this was a film that I didn't even see like in the release date for this year alone or anything. And I like a lot of whodunits and stuff like that. You know, I've always been a big fan of mystery or murder mysteries and things like that, including Clue. And even a few years ago when we had movies like that movie Knives Out, which we're getting the sequel this year. And earlier I also did like Death on the Nile. So it seems like this year this is becoming quite the whodunit type of movies where we've got Death on the Nile, this one, and then the Glass Onion and Knife Story coming out. And so it's got me really interested on what they do with these type of murder mysteries. And I'm always down for how they play off like these old old Hollywood type of movies like that, where you have like a murder happens, you have the detective looking for it, and it plays in that very fun kind of way. And from the trailers, what got me interested was I thought it was going to be like a Wes Anderson type of film, because from the editing and the way the trailer kind of presents itself, I thought this was actually secretly a Wes Anderson film from the kind of zany style that he's known for. Now keep in mind, I've only seen a few movies by Wes Anderson, like Moonrise Kingdom, The Royal Tenenbaums, and all that. But you could definitely tell from the trailer it was going for that very kind of upbeat kind of vibe for it. Hell, even a couple of the cast members, they're known for being in the Wes Anderson films, including Adrian Brody. So that's why I was thinking in my head, like, is this secretly a Wes Anderson film I didn't know about? So, lo and behold, no, this was entirely its own thing. And after upon seeing the film, I gotta say, I'm really glad I got to check this movie out. This was a lot of fun. This was definitely one of the biggest surprises for me of the year. To get my pros out of the way, I really enjoyed the performances in this. Like Sam Rockwell was, I thought, very great as the detective. He's your typical detective who's down on his luck trying to solve the case and stuff. He drinks and he takes his constable under his wing. That's played by Ronan, and a lot of their chemistry really works really well in this film, especially how there's like this running theme of her writing everything in her notes that comes into a big plot point throughout the film, and things like that as she's learning from her experience, learning from the inspector as he goes along with the case. And I got to really appreciate the rest of the performances too, especially Adrian Brody. I thought he was really one of the biggest highlights for me a lot. He definitely had some really funny lines throughout the film. And just, it's good to see him back in a movie on the big screen again, because I haven't really seen Adrian Brody in a movie in a long time. And I think actually the last movie I remember seeing him in theaters wise, I think was probably Predators was like the last big mainstream movie I can think of that he was in that I saw in theaters. But he was great. I really enjoyed his performance in this. I thought he was, playing that kind of, asshole-ish type of hotshot film director that, is trying to make the movie and stuff. And, he's trying to make a movie based off of the Mousetrap. That's by Agatha Christie. And there's also some other plot points that get into where he's having some conflicts with a lot of the other like people behind with some of the people behind with some of the screenwriters and things like that. And so I thought he was great. And then, I really do enjoy the way the movie builds along with its meta approach, because it has this really fun type of style where throughout the movie characters are speaking in dialogue that's very, kind of witty, where it's kind of like a in-joke kind of dialogue where they're saying certain lines that essentially are coincidentally taking place, like coincidentally taking place during scenes that are supposed to be like really, you know, kind of like that are going on with like the murder scenes and stuff like that. And so I thought the way they play on it, it really does have a lot of great, you know, fun stuff where they play on words like about like how, you know, the audience is not really into annoying characters that they kill off, and there's also, you know, points where you need to have like a where, you know, they make fun of flashbacks and things like that. Just the whole commentary I thought was just really fun. It's very refreshing to hear for a movie like this. And one of the other things too I got to reappreciate is the production design. Like this movie really builds a lot of great emphasis on the 50s in this style, and I really like the way that, you know, we get the time periods with the clothes, the vehicles, things like that. And just the score and everything, it just really moves at such a really fun pace, and I had such a blast with it. Not really much a lot to go into detail with, other than there was really a cool twists and turns that I really enjoyed in this that really worked well, especially from something I didn't really see coming. But if I do have any, just kind of a minor thing, I will say that kind of holds the movie a little back. Well, not really hold it back, but it's just kind of a minor thing, is that the movie does seem like it does feel kind of like, at points, a little too on the nose at certain things that they say in the dialogue, where it can get like a little bit, little too foreshadowy, where you kind of predict where the movie goes along toward its story, especially when it gets into the third act. And so I did kind of have like an issue with that. And there's also some other characters that they could have spent a whole lot more time with and build more of the whole investigation emphasis on. Like, you know, with Sam Rockwell's character doing all the investigation stuff, interrogating suspects and things like that. I really wish we could have seen more of that going on, and with some of the other characters they bring up. But still, as it stands, I still had a lot of fun with this movie. And you know what? Sam Rockwell's accent in this, in a good comparison, it kind of reminds me of Johnny Depp's accent from like the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. How he pulls off that very British type of accent. I thought Sam Rockwell did a great job with it. And so with that, since I really had like little to no flaws with it, I mean, other than like some minor things, this was definitely one of the most like fun movies of the year for me. And with that being said, I'm going to give the film a very high, extremely high, compelling grade on the Film Freaks meter. So for those of you who've also seen See How They Run, let me know in the comments below what you thought about it. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next review. I'll see you later.